Hi, I'm Samantha Plimmer. For the best part of my life, I have hated the way I looked, and I can't remember a time when I looked in the mirror and felt confident. However, over the past few months, I have learned I am not alone in the battle I face with myself daily, and hundreds of people around the world have also been fighting for self-confidence. This documentary is going to show you the emotional effects acne has had on myself and people close to me. It's time to show the world that acne is a serious skin condition and show you that perfection is only a misconception.
I'm Peter Leggett and I'm 26 years old.
I'm Ellie Hells and I'm 18 years old.
My name's Ben Crumpton. I'm 19 years old.
I started to develop acne around the age of 11 or 12, but it didn't become quite severe until I started reaching my later teens.
When it got worse, it was when I was in college, so about 16, 17.
I was 13 when I first developed acne, so I was in high school at the time.
Probably the hardest part is the fact that I felt like nobody else could see what I could see so clearly.
I'm all very confident, see. I used to cover my face a lot.
The hardest thing was not feeling comfortable in my own skin because my face was just constantly red with loads of bumps over it. Because for high school, I couldn't wear makeup, so I couldn't cover it up at all. It was always on show. I always constantly felt uncomfortable in my own skin.
I used to work in a restaurant and a customer put a complaint in describing the staff member he was trying to describe. He didn't know my name, so he described me as the spotty kid instead. That was 8 years ago, and I've never forgot that feeling.
Sometimes the hardest thing to wear is our own skin. When you can't bring yourself to look in a mirror because you are that physically disgusted at what is staring back at you. No matter what was in view, the only thing I saw was how bad my skin was and how horrible I looked. I would cover the mirror until I was completely covered. If I couldn't see it, no one else could, and that was the only goal. I would tell myself people can't find out about this. Imagine the things they would do or say. Would they want to know me? Would they be embarrassed to be seen with me? Or would they just bully me? I just kept hiding this secret, but as I got older, it got harder to hide. I would wear shirts and the acne would come down my arm. People would point it out and I would just lie and say I had a reaction to something, before proceeding to cover up further. I lived in Australia as well, so going to the beach with my friends was always difficult. They would be stood in a bikini and I would have an oversized shirt on to cover up. I just always felt different and that made everything a lot worse. I'm Samantha Plimmer and I'm 19 years old.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Plimmer, I'm Samantha Plimmer's mum.
I started to develop acne when I was about 14 years old.
Obviously, as a parent, you you want everything best for your child, and to see her going through and not be very confident in what she was wearing, what she was going out, just in general, that was quite hard to deal with as a parent.
The hardest thing that I've probably had to deal with due to my acne is probably the bullying I went through. I was severely bullied about my acne. I was called names, all the stereotypical nicknames that you kind of gain from having acne, so that was really difficult.
So something that I noticed Sam go through that she didn't actually notice at the time was when we lived in Australia. We went to a water park. Sam was queuing up to go on a ride and there was some girls behind her and they was giggling at her and pointing at her, obviously pointing at her acne that was on her back at the time.
Definitely that moment when I was in high school and someone barged past me and called me pizza face. I kind of, for a split second, I didn't think they were talking to me, and then it kind of hit me and I remember I ran to the toilets and I cried for a solid 20 minutes and I had to go home because I was just that upset.
To see Sam's self-confidence build up now has been brilliant. To see her now be able to walk into shops and to go out and buy strappy tops and not even think about it now, whereas before she would always go shopping and have a look at the tops and then turn around and say, I love this top, but I can't wear this because of the acne on my back. To see her not to worry what other people think now.
I've definitely become more confident over time by learning not to care as much about what people think or say. I feel like when you start to learn that, it does get easier. I don't wear foundation anymore, which has helped my confidence a lot. And I do now feel kind of comfortable going out with strapless t-shirts on and just developing this kind of self-worth, it's definitely helped.
My best recommendation is to ask for help from the right people. I advise people to really research it, because there's a massive misconception about acne as to why you have it, because it's not something really stupid, it's not in your head. If it's a big deal to you, then treat it like a big deal. You know, you wouldn't cut your leg open and knock it to a doctor if it was infected, so why are you doing it to your face?
Just don't really care what other people think, you know. Just be more confident in yourself. Everybody goes through it.
90% of the time, they've got to think about other people will be too, so they're not alone in the fact that they're getting bullied for having acne. It's coming from people who've probably got other stuff going on in their life if they're going to the extent to knock other people's confidence to build their own. So if they just keep thinking of that, the words stop hurting.
It's hard, and it's always going to be hard, but you need to know that things get better. There's so much more to life than caring about what your skin looks like, and you need to realise that people don't care as much as you think they do, and bullies are always just below you, so their opinions shouldn't matter, and the minute you start to learn that, your confidence it'll grow. Life is way too short to spend another day at war with yourself. Look in the mirror and see how incredibly amazing you are. You're alive and you're breathing, which is an amazing thing. Take a step back and look at yourself, not just specific flaws. It took me a while to realise that the minute you learn to love every single flaw is the minute no one else's opinions or comments will matter, because the self-love and self-confidence you will gain will outbalance every negative comment. You will start to do things for you and no one else. I, for the first time a few months back, wore an off-the-shoulder shirt. To some people this might not seem like a very big step, but to me it was the biggest thing in the world. It's all about doing baby steps and only doing what you feel comfortable with. The more you do it, the more confidence you will gain. I no longer wear foundation every day, which has helped my acne. So don't put that jacket on to cover up. Embrace everything about yourself, because as much as it can be hard to wear your own skin, at the end of the day it's the only one you get. So embrace it while you can and let your natural self shine. Perfection is only a misconception. Perfection isn't skin deep.